Massachusetts, talking with Elena Katz. Elena and her husband are being accused of neglect. She has a daughter who is mentally challenged and has diabetes. The state of New Hampshire is saying that her daughter is being neglected and that the diabetes is out of control and that they've said that the daughter is in need of amputation of her legs. This is all untrue, as Elena and her husband has the daughter under the care of the Joslin Diabetes Clinic in Boston, Massachusetts. So here's Elena to tell us about what the New Hampshire bureaucracies are doing to take her child.
New Hampshire Child Protective Services and Timberland School District are using our minor child with disabilities to collect federal funds. Children and Youth Services are making false allegations of medical neglect and filing so-called guardianship petition in order to collect not only federal money but state money under false pretenses, and in order to retaliate against the parents for bringing the action in a federal court. We are the only people, the only parties in the history of DCYS who won a jury trial in 1998. Even then, DCYS was claiming they will never give it up. Many New Hampshire families decided to fight for their rights and make their stories public. They organized a rally in front of Health and Human Services and DCYS, and they spoke about the abuses of the children and families by state agencies. This was covered by Manchester Union Leader. The article was named DCYS is compared to KGB during Concord Rally. My story was there on the front page, asking the abuse of the government and abuse of the agencies has to stop. This can't go on anymore. Families need to be protected. They should not be harmed by the agencies. I'm a refugee from former Soviet Union. I would never believe that the United States government is funding the state to abuse children with special needs instead of protecting them, and to take children from their families who love the children and who are fighting for their children's special education needs. I would never believe that such abuses by government and by states are possible in the democracy. DCYS is worse than KGB. KGB never took children. KGB directed their actions against adults, political dissidents. Their goal was not to destroy families, was to publish political dissent. Here, DCYS is using fascist state tactics to abuse the children, to deprive children of their families, to destroy the families, and to collect the funds while they're doing it, federal and state funds. They try to suppress our right to free speech by claiming that we're mentally unable in some way. That's why we're protesting in front of the school district. This is the same tactics which was done by KGB. The political dissidents were named somehow mentally sick in order to suppress the political dissent. This is a very old tactics of all fascist societies. It is surprising that in democracy something like this can happen. Timberland School District is still committing federal and state funding fraud. They're claiming that Eleonora is attending Timberland Middle School, although they're fully aware that Eleonora is being homeschooled. We started homeschooling in 2006, and we continue homeschooling right now. However, Timberland School District insists that she is still attending Timberland School, that she is a pupil there, and they still billing state and federal government for the child who is not there and for the services that had never been provided. And they're threatening to arrest us, and they're threatening to seize Eleonora from us and use all kinds of force against us to make sure that we give Eleonora, and there is no evidence of any wrongdoing. 3 police forces came, surrounded the house. Eleonora was there, and they stated that it's extreme medical emergency. Eleonora needs to go to the hospital, and if she doesn't get to the hospital, her life is likely to suffer immediate danger, irreparable harm, and she is likely to suffer all diabetic complications combined. And of course she was in no danger. DCYS brought her for a routine medical visit in Manchester, and then knowing that she's not in danger, they took her to a pizza parlor.
For lunch or?
For lunch,
So-
for the lunchtime, she was
So,
fine.
that was the emergency.
That was an emergency. However, later on we discovered another emergency when she actually got to Lebanon. Under the billing, they stated that she had some mosquito bites on her too.
That was the emergency?
Apparently it was.
You can't go back to your house?
No, the house is under siege. It had been for the last 4 months.
What do you mean by under siege? They come to your house every day?
They come to the house quite often. The police is parked by the house, the visitors and the sheriffs are coming on a regular basis.
So you're on the run from New Hampshire authorities who have come to East Boston and harassed your relatives?
Who are not even a party of this.
Right, I understand. They've gone to the Joslin Clinic and cut off medical assistance to your daughter?
Yes, they went as far as to go to Joslin Diabetic Center and demand that Joslin would not provide any care. And Joslin is not under their jurisdiction. Joslin is in Massachusetts. I would never have believed that such events can take place in democracy. We were on the run to protect safety of our child. All three of us have left New Hampshire, where we lived for 20 years, to protect safety of our child. We have to leave our home, all our personal belongings, and we can't even visit her relatives because they're trying to break the relatives' doors, coming at 4 o'clock in the morning, threatening the relatives. We are forced, with leaving the state we had been, all the friends, all the community, in order to protect our child from false allegations and illegal intrusion and abuse of the family by the New Hampshire government.
And the governor, John Lynch, won't do anything to help you?
No, the office of the governor stated this is the matter of the courts and they don't want to have to do anything with this, but it is not the matter of the courts. This is the matter of DCYS and Timberland School District are making false allegations to the court. This is about fraud upon the court by New Hampshire Department of Education and Timberland School District, misrepresenting orders to collect federal funding.
So the governor could get involved because those agencies are under his direct authority.
It is correct.
Do you think the money that, the federal monies that the DCYS and Timberland School brings into the state have something to do with his office not wanting to do anything about his constituents?
Federal government is paying the bills for the services that had never been provided.
And this fraud is going on across the United States.
Yes, it is.
And a lot of families like yours with special needs children are being harassed. Why don't you tell us how much more special needs children gains the state than a regular child in their care?
That triples the amount of money the average child gets, and that goes for a long time. According to the records, Illinois is still attending Timberland School District, and New Hampshire taxpayers are paying the bill.
And they're still billing, even though they've driven you out of the state.
Yes.
And you're on the run.
Yes.
In this so-called free country.
Yes.
You are under threat of jail.
Yes.
It seems like your family's liberty has been taken away, as well as the house, as well as everything.
Yes, we have a house, but we can't get to now in a house because the police and the sheriffs are coming on a regular basis, are threatening to arrest us, and even threatening to arrest the relative who is living there, although he's not a part of it. We would like to bring all of these events to New Hampshire Governor John Lynch to take control over New Hampshire state agencies, to show him what abuses are happening to New Hampshire families and New Hampshire children. This is not a court matter. This is the matter of the state agencies making false allegations to court in order to collect federal funds at the expense of the children with disabilities. This matter needs to come to attention to New Hampshire citizens and New Hampshire state government. This needs to happen now.